Good afternoon, everyone. It's Mr. Montgomery again. Today, we're still adding tens to a two-digit number, but let's think about another way we could try to do it. There's a way we can do it mentally, and if this works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay. If the 100 chart works best for you, you can keep using the 100 chart. If counting by tens and ones works for you, that's fine also. So let me show you a little example of what we're going to do for today. Okay, so if you look at the little problem I wrote here, it's 15 plus 10. So what our book is saying that we can also do, since we're just adding a 10 to it, we're not adding any ones, so that means that only the tens house will change. This is the only number or only place value that is going to change it all. So this is these numbers are going to be the only ones that change. This 5 will not change. It will just stay right with it. Okay? And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So first, we will take this 1 and this 1, and we're going to add it together and put it right here. And what's 1 plus 1? 1 plus 1 is 2. Then we're going to take this 5, and it just goes along right with it on the other side. That's all we're doing. We're just looking at what is in the tens place on both numbers. We're adding those two numbers together and making a new 10, which would be 2. And the 5, it just goes right along with it. It will not change. It just kind of moves, its spot from the number sentence into our total at the end. Goes from being just an apart to the total. Okay, so right now you might be saying, Mr. Montgomery, you're crazy. What is going on? It's okay. Stick with me for a little bit. We're going to practice a whole bunch right down here. And so for number 1 here, we're just going to use the same number for each one of these problems. We're not going to change it up. And while we do it, I'll also show you what's happening with some pictures of some tens rods and ones cubes up top. Okay? All right, so I have a number all picked out for us now. We're going to use the number 21 going straight down, but we're just going to do one at a time. So for the first part, it's going to be 21 plus 10. So make sure you write that 21 on that line. Plus 10 equals, well, I'm not too sure. Now for this part, you do not have to draw any of this. You can watch my drawings, or if you would like some tens rods and ones cubes and stuff, I can give you some rods and ones cubes to use for you to work with, okay? But they're kind of just there to help us understand the idea. So what we're doing is, remember how yesterday we just kind of took this 10 and put it over here and counted all the tens together? It's the same idea. So if we combine all these tens, how many tens do we have? We have 1, 2, 3 tens. So that 3 goes there. And then how many ones do we still have? It's right there. We just still have that one single cube in our ones place. And that's all we're doing. So really all we did was write or think 2 tens plus 1 10 equals 3 tens. That's it. That's all we're doing. And that tells us what number this tens house is going to change to. All right, let's keep going. We're going to try again, but instead of just having 1 10 to work with, we're going to have 3 tens to work with. Okay? Okay, so now for this next one, make sure you have that 21 written down, because our number sentence now is going to be 21 plus 30. And I'm going to give you a little hint about what the answer is. This 1 is not going to change. Whatever your ones house is not going to change. It just goes right along with it to the whole number. It just hops right on over, because we're only adding a 10 to it. And when we count by tens, every single number that we count by has a 0 at the end, which means we're not adding any ones, we're just adding tens. Okay? So let's look at our little picture that I drew for us up here. So now all we have to do, since we're just adding a set of 10, not ones, and 21 has just 1 1, we can put that on over. Now we just have to count how many tens rods. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So our answer is 51. And let's just say that you don't believe me, and you're saying, Mr. Montgomery, you're crazy. There's no way that 21 plus 30 equals 51. Well, you know what? Let's check our math. We can use a little method that I was showing you for the past 2 days, how we can just rewrite this. Instead of going from left to right, we can write it going from top to bottom. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so now I rewrote 21 plus 30. And I'm going to make my little dividing line here. Look, 1 plus 0 is 1. And 2 plus 3 is 5. And we still get 51. The answer doesn't change. All right, so now let's try doing this with the next one. Let's make sure we write in that number, because we are just using the number 21 for all of these. Okay, so we're using the number 21 again. Remember, since we're just adding tens to it, the ones house does not change. So that we can just right away, we can write that 1 in as the ones place in our answer right there. And now we just have to add the tens together. That's it. And I even drew us a little picture up here to make sure that we have it right. Let's count our tens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you prefer to count by tens, we can do that too. 10, 20, 30, 40. And our answer is 41. And again, you can always check your answer by rewriting it. 21 plus 20. And I'll get my different colors out. 1 plus 0 is 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. And we still get 41. The answer stays the same. All right, let's make sure that we write the number 21 in this space here, because we're not changing the number that we're working with. 21 plus 40. And remember, this 1 isn't changing. The ones place isn't changing, because 1 and 0, the 0 is going to make sure that 1 stays the same. He doesn't want to change them. So the 1 is going to just tag along, and we can already put that in our answer, because it's not going to change. Now we just have to add our tens. So now we can count by tens if we want. Ready? 20 or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Or if that sounds a little weird to you, we can just count the number of tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we get 61. And maybe this doesn't feel right and you want to really check your work. Well, we can do that. And we can write it top to bottom, 21 plus 40 and let me get my other colors out because I like to draw a little line down the middle to make sure I don't confuse my ones and my tens. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 2 plus 4 is 6. We still get 61. It's this, we get the same whole number. Now that we have a little grasp over this idea, let's try doing this other side with a different number. So, now that we understand the concept a little bit better, we're actually going to move a little bit faster. If it's going too fast, you can just pause the video by hitting the spacebar on your keyboard. Okay? If not, great. And we're just going to kind of jump right into it. So, with this, it's 32 plus 10. And we have our picture up here just in case. So, 3 plus 1, we're just adding the 10s together. The 3 and the 1 make 4. And this 2 is just going to jump right over. Because we're just adding a 10. There's a 0 there. Nothing added to. So it's going to be 42. And if you're not sure, of course you can always check. 32 plus 10. Draw a line down the middle. 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. We still get 42. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, first next one, make sure we write our number 32 on this first line because that's the number we're working with. So now we have 32 plus 30. If you need a picture, it's up here. So remember, we're just kind of adding these tens together only. 3 plus 3 is 6. And then the 2 just comes right on over. And we have 62. That's all we're really doing. And we can go ahead and check our work. 32, 30. Add them up. 2 plus 0 is 2. And 3 plus 3 is 6. We still get 62 either way. Let's go on to the next one. Make sure we write our 32. So now our number sentence says 32 plus 20. Again, we're just going to add these tens together. 3 and 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. And this 2 has nothing being added to it, so it just jumps on over. And we made 52. We can double check it. 32, 20. Put a fun little plus sign. Draw our separating line down the middle. 0 plus 2 is, of course, 2. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. And we still get the same answer, 52, 52. See how we're going down? The only number that's changing is the tens house. First we had 42, then 62, and then 52. This ones house number isn't changing at all. We just have 2, 2, 2. It's not changing, not one bit. So let's go on to the next one. Write our 32. Now we have 32 plus 40. Erase that real quick. So if we have 32 plus 40, we're just doing the same thing that we just did, where we take our tens, we're going to add them together, the 3 and the 4. I draw a line just to show that we're adding these two numbers. 3 plus 4 is 7, and the 2, he just wants to keep this 7 company. Overdrew that arrow, but it's okay. It's okay. And we have 72. And if you're not feeling comfortable and you just want to check your work, we can write it a different way, top to bottom. 32 plus 40 . Now we have 2 plus 0 is 2. And 3 plus 4 is 7. We still have 72, either way. All right, now let's open up our packets and take a look at the inside. All right, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to open up your packets. It should look just like the screen. And while you're getting the page ready, I'll read the directions out loud. Add using mental math. Use models if needed. And by models, they mean you can use some 10 rods and 1s cubes if you need them, okay? That's all they're saying. Okay, so you guys should have it open by now. And we're going to kind of walk through number 1 just to see the steps they took. Okay, so for number 1, they put the number 25. Let's see where they got that. Well, they got it from this picture. They have, well, let's count it out. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 cubes. So now we can trace that 25. And then it says and always means plus. Always, okay? If you ever see and in a word problem, you're gonna have to add them. That's just a little fun fact for our problem solving for later on. Okay, and then they say and 30. So we're adding it to the number 30. So we can trace that 30. We know where they got that number because it just told them. And now we're going to use that little mental math trick where first we just take our tens, which is 2 and 3. We add them together. What's 2 plus 3? It's 5. So now we know our tens place is 5. Okay, and then the ones number, since there's a 0 here, this 5 just comes right over and keeps them company. That's all. So now we can trace this 5. All right. So now that you know what we did, I'm going to start number 2 with you, and then you're going to finish it on your own. Okay, so let's figure out how many cubes we have. We have 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 and 12 and 10, and 12 always means plus. That's why there's a plus sign here. And then they told us the other number, which is 10. So I will give you guys a couple seconds to figure this out using the tricks that we just learned. Remember, first add the tens together, and then just carry the 1, okay? All right. If you still need a couple seconds, hit the space bar on the computer if anyone still needs a couple seconds. If you're already done, awesome. Let's go over it. So let's use our mental math tricks. First, we're going to add the tens together, which is going to be the 1 and the 1. So 1 and 1 equals 2. And then this 2 just comes right on over here. So we'll get 22. And if you're not sure, go ahead and write it from top to bottom. 12 plus 10 2 plus 0 is 2, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So we get 22. We get 22 either way. Okay, now try number 3 all on your own. I'll give you guys a good minute. Alright, I think that might be enough time. If you still need another couple seconds, just hit that space bar and it'll pause the video. If anyone needs any more time, if not, let's go over it. Let's use our little mental math tricks. So we have 58 plus 20. So first, we're just going to take our tens, which is 5 and 8. We're going to add them together. 5 plus 8 is 7. And then since we just have one number that's in the ones place, because 0 won't change a number, we're just going to carry it on over. And it's 8. So we get 78. And if you're not sure if you're correct, you can always check your work. We can write 58 plus 20 . All right. Draw a little line down the middle to separate them. 8 plus 0 is 8. Doesn't change. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. We still get 78 either way. Okay? So use what's best for you. If this little mental math trick works, awesome. If not, that's okay. I would love for you guys to try number 4 all on your own and keep going and do the rest of the packet all the way to number, let's see, number 15. All right, so you're going to do the rest of this page on your own, the next page on your own, and please do not skip number 13. A lot of us tend to do that. It's there at the bottom of the next page. Do not skip it. All right? If you're confused, come see me at the front carpet with our other friends, and